Good morning and welcome to Take 10 for this week. I have read this book, The Purpose-Driven Life by Rick Warren, maybe 3 or 4 times in my life. It is written from a Christian perspective, but I believe that it has some important kind of life questions that affect all of us, regardless of whether or not we are people of faith. And today, amongst the many, many things that the author writes about, I wanted to highlight just 3 points from the book. The first is this: the question, what is it that drives your life? We are driven by all sorts of things, maybe by fear or guilt, maybe by materialism, by the need for approval, maybe by a search for greater knowledge or a desire for inner peace. We are driven by many, many different things, some good, some not so good, some rooted in the past and others focused on the future. Both the past and the future are very important. There's a time to look back, to reflect, to evaluate. I spoke about that last week. We live in a world of compulsive activism, but what good is activity if we never really stop to consider what it is we are learning along the way? If we live in the past, if we keep reliving previous chapters of our lives, we will never move on to new things. Likewise, if we spend too much time in the future, in dreaming and planning, which in and of themselves are not wrong, the danger is that life moves on and we're still stuck in that dreaming stage. The painter Pablo Picasso said the meaning of life is to find your gift. The purpose of life is to give it away. What is it that drives your life? Second, this, not a comfortable thought, but we are transformed by trial. The author of Purpose-Driven Life says this: God's ultimate goal for your life on earth is not comfort, but character development. Growth, especially spiritual growth, is a lifelong journey. I know that I'm often guilty of wanting to go from A to Z without having to pass through the other letters of the alphabet en route. Discipleship, spiritual growth, whatever you want to call it, works in the present continuous tense. I personally believe in a God who is redemptive in nature. He takes circumstances, all manner of circumstances, to develop and shape my character. There is nothing in the Bible that promises us an easy life. There is nothing that promises us immunity from suffering, from bereavement, from illness, from financial hardship, and so the list could go on. But God promises to use such circumstances to develop and shape our character. We cannot and we must not reduce God to some kind of genie who exists simply to grant our wishes. That is not how faith works. When negative circumstances come our way, the question is not why, but what. What can I learn in the midst of this situation? The last thought is this: eternal significance. Rick Warren says, most people struggle with 3 basic issues of life. The first is identity. Who am I? The second is importance. Do I matter? And the third is impact. What is my place in life? A quote that I've carried in my heart since I first read this book 20 something years ago is this: to live my life in the light of eternity. Some of our decisions have the potential to impact the lives of others in deep and profound ways. All decisions have consequences, and some of those consequences are eternal in nature. Those who know me know that I collect quotes and I make inspirational bookmarks. And one I particularly like is from the author Mark Twain, who said this: "The two most important days of your life are the day you were born and the day you find out why." Can I encourage you today, this year, to live a purpose-driven life? Have a great week, and I hope to see you next Wednesday. Take care.